Hello everyone. Welcome to my Y&R 24 spoilers. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Holden, Claire, and Kyle's demands live young and free in LA. According to Monday, October 13th spoilers for The Young and the Restless, Holden Novak and Claire Newman are living large in Los Angeles, while Kyle Abbott seeks answers from Victoria Newman. Kyle intends to travel to LA to impress Claire and interfere with her trip away from him. Wonderful. What does Kyle want from Victoria Newman, Claire's mother? Of course, where she was. Claire is staying where? Victoria is morally upright, and we anticipate that she will not provide Kyle with the information he requests. But what if he gets a text message telling him where she is? Poor Kyle doesn't see why Claire would find his desperate behavior unattractive. Ironically, though, it was she who first fell in love with him, not the other way around. Claire is displaying maturity above her years, whereas Kyle is behaving like a schoolboy who is infatuated. Well done, Claire, on her way to LA at the whim of Holden. He is undoubtedly dodgy, but for the time being she is enjoying herself. Claire's knowledge of Holden is limited. Who would you pick in contrast to Kyle's desperation, given Holden's carefree attitude? However, Claire is unaware that Holden has been assigned the mission of becoming close to her. To be fair, Holden was attracted to Claire before he received his marching orders. But his boss, Kane Ashby, has a hidden goal. Will Claire's heart be broken by Holden? Holden treats Claire like a queen and takes her to the sexiest places, according to spoilers for The Young and the Restless, which would be a welcome change from Kyle's conflict with Audra Charles. Will Claire, however, give in to reckless abandonment that she will come to regret? Before Kyle arrives, watch to see how Claire is living her best life. However, do you believe that Kyle has a chance of saving Claire from a predatory Holden? Character debut, Hardball, Mama Bear's Choice. There will be significant turmoil in Genoa City on Tuesday, October 14th, according to spoilers for The Young and the Restless. While someone plays hardball and a character makes their canvas debut, a mother must make a tough decision. What can we expect from Tuesday's performance? It's time to find out. The choice of Jill Abbott. Spoilers for Tuesday, October 14th's episode of The Young and the Restless suggest that Jill Abbott will make a significant choice regarding her relationship with Billy Abbott. Would she consent to provide Abbott Communications with funding? In the end, Sally Spectra did ask Billy's mother for assistance. Will she, however, turn down the offer in light of Billy's numerous shortcomings? To discover out, fans will need to turn in. Kyle Abbott engages in hardball. It appears that Kyle Abbott will play hardball, speaking of pampered Abbott guys. He's eager to go to Los Angeles to find Claire Newman and prove his love for her because he wants to win her back. Read this. The Young and the Restless spoilers for the upcoming 3 weeks. Kane and Phyllis fireworks, wedding drama, and LA horror show. Victoria Newman refused to provide him Claire's address in Los Angeles, since it's a horrible idea overall. Nevertheless, since Kyle isn't accustomed to hearing no, it seems likely that he will resort to brutal means to obtain the knowledge. The debut of Sienna Bacall. Finally, according to Tuesday spoilers for The Young and the Restless, actress Tamara Braun will play Holden Novak's longtime friend Sienna Bacall in her eagerly awaited Y&R debut. In the trailer for the CBS soap opera, Holden and Claire are seen having vespers at an LA bar as Sienna moves toward the pair. It will be fascinating to see the character's journey on paint because Sienna is not only acquainted with Holden, but also with Audra Charles. Do you believe Sienna is a cunning person or a good person? Does she know Tucker McCall as well? Time will tell. Act 1. A man in love's desperation. The story starts with Kyle Abbott, a man who is restless, impatient, and torn between pride and love. As Kyle thunders through Newman Enterprises, his high-end shoes resonating across marble floors, Genoa City hums with subdued anxiety. A mix of bewilderment and outrage burns in his eyes. The young lady who used to gaze at him with admiring wide eyes, Claire Newman, has now disappeared into the California heat. They are separated by emotional maturity, which Kyle has not yet attained, rather than by geographic distance. Claire's mother, Victoria Newman, is the source of Kyle's questions. On the surface, his request is straightforward. Where is Claire? However, there is a deeper wound of rejection, insecurity, and loss of control below that query. Victoria's well-fitting navy jacket shines in the gentle light as she stands composedly in her workplace. She has dealt with business espionage, aggressive takeovers, and boardroom sharks, but this isn't the same. Her daughter's ex, Kyle, is more than just a coworker. His desperation feels almost threatening. Victoria's countenance tightens as he pressures her for Claire's location. With the power of a CEO and a protective mother, she replies, Kyle, in a measured yet forceful tone that hits like ice on his raging frustration. If my daughter wanted to be found, she wouldn't have left without telling you. But Kyle isn't used to hearing no. His once charming and audacious confidence now verges on obsession. The thought that Claire might be happier without him is too much for him to bear. He is convinced in his mind that he must save her from making a mistake. He is unaware that he is the error she is trying to avoid. Act 2. The Mirage of California. Los Angeles, meanwhile, is glowing like a dream. Victoria Newman's previously innocent daughter, Claire Newman, has entered a world full of opportunities. The Abbott drama that had enmeshed her back in Genoa City has caused her to breathe differently here. She feels lighter and more liberated. The city is electrified with Holden Novak, Nathan Owens, by her side. With his self-assured grin and effortless charm, Holden embodies everything Kyle lacks: spontaneity, boldness, and openness. The ocean stretches out in front of them as they travel along the Pacific Coast Highway, the wind blowing in their hair. For a moment, Claire feels unstoppable and laughs in a manner she hasn't in months. Holden is the quintessential bad boy, mysterious, erratic, and exciting. He takes her dancing till dawn, brings her to rooftop parties, and orders champagne at brunch. Every scene has a cinematic quality. However, beneath the fluorescent nightlife of Los Angeles, there is a more sinister reality. Holden isn't here by accident. Claire is unaware that Kane Ashby sending Holden. Ever the planner, Kane has a strategy that way incorporates Claire, either as a distraction or as leverage. Getting close to her is Holden's mission. But as time goes on, it becomes harder to distinguish between obligation and desire. Holden is pulled to Claire out of intrigue rather than duty. He is disarmed by her combination of strength and vulnerability. He assures himself that he is in charge, but he feels the weight of his deceit growing more every time she smiles or shows a bit more trust in him. Act 3. A revealed text. Kyle is unable to leave Genoa City. When he glimpses a text on Victoria's phone, a straightforward message, a location, or possibly even a picture that reveals Claire's whereabouts, his desperation reaches new heights. Kyle is now behaving like a lovesick teen searching social media for hints, which is surprising for a man who takes pride in his intelligence. Ironically, Claire had her first love encounter with him, but she is now the adult. She has gained knowledge from their connection, his incessant desire for approval, and the turmoil of his previous relationship with Audra Charles. Kyle continues to view love as a challenge. Claire considers it an experience. His choice to travel to Los Angeles is irresponsible, not romantic. Although he secretly wants power, he promises himself he will fight for her. The thought of being replaced, particularly by someone like Holden Novak, is unbearable to him. Still, he makes the flight reservation. Act 4. The connection with L.A. The elite of the city congregate at Vespers, a posh bar in downtown Los Angeles. Ambition and jasmine scents fill the air. The dimly lit lounge reverberates with the laughter of Claire and Holden as they sit side by side. It's an image of carefree youth until Sienna Bacall enters. When she walks in, the room seems to stop. She is sophisticated, perceptive, and exudes the kind of self-assurance that demands attention. Holden has known Sienna for a long time, albeit the term friend may be oversimplified. Claire can see right away that they had a past together, With a playful smirk and a silky voice, Sienna welcomes Holden. The comment hits like a velvet-wrapped blade. I didn't know you were in town, or that you were babysitting Newman royalty. Claire smiles tightly, courteous yet observant. Holden introduces Sienna as an old colleague in an attempt to appear calm, but their tension betrays this. As the evening wears on, Claire observes their interactions, the looks, the familiarity, and she becomes uneasy. She senses a change in the ground underneath her for the first time since coming to Los Angeles. Act V. The predicament of Jill Abbott. The Abbott family is confronted with a different kind of storm back in Genoa City. In her office, Jill Abbott is looking at a proposal that her son, Billy Abbott, has made. It's audacious, dangerous, and unquestionably Billy. He asks her to invest in Abbott Communications, a venture that has the potential to either salvage or ruin his legacy. Ever the opportunist, Sally Spectra has contacted Jill to support Billy's proposal. Jill is conflicted. Although she adores her son, she has repeatedly seen him make poor choices and experience mental breakdowns. She is aware of his vision, but she is also aware that vision devoid of discipline can result in catastrophe. Jill secretly hopes that this is Billy's story of redemption. However, she recognizes the warning flags in her head. She asks out loud if she should shield her son from harm or invest in him. It's a businesswoman's calculation as well as a mother's inquiry. Her choice could have a profound impact on Billy, the Abbott legacy, and even Kyle, who is too preoccupied with his own problems to see the connections between all of these threads. Act 6. Hardball with Kyle. Kyle chooses to play hardball now that he is in full pursuit mode. When Victoria declines to assist, he resorts to other strategies, such as swaying contacts, pulling strings, and even using his Abbott name to obtain information that is banned. He grows more resolute the more opposition he encounters. He tells himself that what he is doing is romantic, even heroic. They are actually self-centered. He is striving to regain ownership of something that is no longer his, not for love. He simply makes Claire feel more distant in spirit with each stride he takes in her direction. Kyle has almost completely changed from a man in love to a man obsessed by the time he takes a plane to Los Angeles. He is unable to see it, though. He imagines that he is going to rescue Claire from Holden, from her own poor choices, and from herself. He is unaware that Claire is not in need of salvation. She requires space. Act 7. Holden's covert plan. Holden, on the other hand, keeps playing the part of the lovely Claire, bringing her to expensive Hollywood parties, brunches in Malibu, and art galleries. But guilt is beginning to seep in. He feels the weight of his deceit increase each time she shares with him her hopes, her family, and her trust concerns. The details of Kane Ashby's scheme are still unknown. What is it that he desires from Claire? Does it act as leverage? Punishment for the Abbotts? Or something more intimate? Holden is no longer inquiring. The mission is now too difficult. It was never intended for him to fall in love with her. Nevertheless, he is aware that in Genoa City, the truth eventually comes to light. And there's a cost for everyone when that happens. Act 8. The arrival. Everything starts to fall apart the day Kyle gets to Los Angeles. Claire receives a text message from Victoria as she and Holden are at a rooftop pool, the sun reflecting off the water. Kyle is en route. Please exercise caution. Her stomach sinks. What is he? She murmurs, her voice filled with incredulity. Holden pretends to be surprised when he glances at her, but there is a glimmer of something on his face, either worry or shame. When Kyle eventually arrives at her hotel, the reunion is not what he had hoped for. His magnificent gesture doesn't enchant Claire. Instead, it leaves her speechless and even indignant. Did you follow me? Her voice wavers between anger and hurt as she demands. Kyle, can you even hear yourself? This is control rather than affection. Her words struck him more forcefully than a slap. He sees himself through her eyes for the first time, including the entitlement, the obsession, and the dread of losing what he believed to be his. Nevertheless, Kyle refuses to back down and accuses Holden of manipulation. He cautions her that she is being taken advantage of and that Holden is not who he seems to be. Ironically, Kyle might be correct in this one instance, but his delivery makes sure she won't trust him. Act 9, The Shadow of Sienna. Sienna Bacall reappears, this time with greater intention, as if the emotional turmoil weren't enough. Her tone is severe when she meets with Holden in private. She cautions, "You're getting too close." Kane is beginning to inquire. Holden dismisses it, claiming to be in charge, but Sienna doesn't buy it. She has more experience than he does in this game. She is aware of Kane's potential for danger when his schemes fall apart. "We both go down if you don't fix this," she replies icily. Both are unaware that Sienna herself has ties to Audra Charles and Tucker McCall in addition to Holden and Kane. Her look isn't arbitrary. She is a cog in a bigger manipulative chain that extends from Genoa City to Los Angeles. She has knowledge of betrayals and deals, and she doesn't hesitate to exploit it. Act X, The Turning Point. The parts start to come together by the end of the week. The web is becoming more and more tightly wound as a result of Jill's business choice, Kane's covert plan, Kyle's frantic search, and Claire's newly discovered independence. Claire starts to doubt everyone, including Holden, Kyle, and even her mother, as she struggles to balance the excitement of her new life with the chaos it is creating. She feels as though Holden is withholding some information from her, and her entire world turns upside down when she eventually finds out that Kane is somehow implicated. Holden must decide whether to protect Claire or betray Kane. Still holding on to the delusion that he is her hero, Kyle gets ready to face Holden head-on, which could backfire. Additionally, the Abbott family in Genoa City is shocked by Jill's choice. After all, she decides to support Billy's project in the hopes that it will restore their family's legacy. However, as all soap opera fans are aware, well-meaning intentions can lead to heartache. Act 11, The Dissection. The episode closes with a string of tense, silent scenes. The silence before the storm. Holden and Sienna quarrel quietly at Vespers, while Claire, who doesn't know the whole situation, observes them from the other side of the room. Torn between leaving and storming in, Kyle stands on the terrace outside, gazing at the skyline. Back in Genoa City, Victoria gets a mysterious call from Kane that reads, "Your daughter is going to discover the price of loyalty." The Young and the Restless is known for its cliffhangers, in which each character believes they are controlling their own destiny until realizing they are part of a more complex, interconnected scheme. Act 12, Symbolism and Themes. Beneath the turmoil on the surface, these episodes delve into classic soap opera themes, such as freedom versus control, truth versus deceit, and the fine line between obsession and love. Kyle's path reflects toxic love masquerading as loyalty. His need for approval is the source of his desperation, not Claire. Claire's path is one of awakening, understanding that self-reliance does not equate to recklessness, but rather to self-respect. As a guy who compromises his morals and learns too late that love cannot be faked, Holden's storyline exemplifies the moral degradation of ambition. The narrative of Jill, a mother torn between emotion and reason, provides generational wisdom to root the pandemonium. Additionally, Sienna Bacall's debut adds complexity and interest because she is the wild card, the too knowledgeable lady whose allegiances could change at any time. Act 13, Prospects. The episodes this week are only the start. Anticipate confrontation, treachery, and revelation in the days ahead. Kane's actual intentions will be revealed. Kyle will have to deal with the consequences of his hasty vacation. When the spotlight wanes, Claire will realize Holden's deceit and be forced to make a decision about her true identity. In the background, Victoria Newman will continue to do what she usually does, which is to defend her family at all costs, even if it means being dishonest. Because in The Young and the Restless, freedom always has a cost. Love isn't straightforward and loyalty isn't pure.